This is after I'd had my talk with the Blessed Mother, okay? And I was still looking for direction on this. I wanted to know definitively what it was I was supposed to do. Well, 1 month went by, 2 months went by, 3 months went by, and I wasn't getting anywhere. It was just getting almost worse. The volume of people storming me with, their opinions was getting to be almost unbearable, and I wouldn't take calls because it was just somebody wanting to hammer at me again. It was just getting to be really unpleasant. Well, it was like a Saturday, and I'm here alone, and I'm in my office, and I look out in the front entry out here, and a car pulls up, and a woman gets out, and she's coming up the stairs, but she's having a heck of a time making it up the stairs, and the car drives away, and this lady's trying to feel her way up, so I go running out of the office out the front door, trying to help this woman up the stairs before she has an accident. And she stops and she goes, "You're Larry." And I go, "Yeah." And I look, and she goes, "Let's go inside. I got to tell you something." And I'm like, "Okay." And I look at her and said, I'm looking at her. She's blind. I said, "Are you blind?" She says, "As a bat." She says, "Let's go inside." And I said, "How did you know it was me?" She says, "Our Blessed Mother standing right next to you. She told me it was you." She says, "You don't need an introduction." And I said, "Well, come on inside." So we came inside, waited for her driver to get in. We all exchanged pleasantries and all like that. And I took him down to kind of start a little bit of tour. And I don't know why I was giving a tour to a blind lady. But she saw everything. She saw everything because Our Lady was being her eyes and giving her these visions. She could see everything, but she was blind. So the blind visionary. Well, anyway, she goes and she apologized. She says, "I'm sorry it took me so long to get here." And I said, "What are you talking about?" She says, "Follow the way. You'll know the way. You'll know. Sound familiar?" And that was the very first locution I'd ever had. That started in 1999. So that kind of took me back, and I hadn't really told a lot of people about that. And she says, "What have you been praying for the last 3 months?" And I acted stupid again. She says, "I know what you've been praying for." She says, "I'm here to tell you what you need to know. Let's go in." She says, "But first, she says, Our Lady wants you to go into your office and get that box of photos somebody dropped off." And I'm like, "I don't have a box of photos. What are you talking about?" I said, "I don't know." She says, "The box of photos, they're in your office. You don't know about them?" I said, "No." She says, "They're in the corner of your office underneath a couple jackets." And I said, "Okay, you wait right here." So I went in the office. And over in the corner, there was a box. It was underneath a couple of jackets. And I lifted up the box, and in the top there were a bunch of old flyers and stuff I got from this place from back in the 1950s. I lifted that off, and then it was all full of photos. I go, "Son of a gun." Look at this lady. So I grabbed the box and go, "Okay, I got it." She says, "Okay, very good. Part 2. She says, "We're to go to the round chairs." And I said, "We don't have any round chairs." I said, "I got round tables." She says, "Take me to the round chairs." I said, "Ma'am, we don't have any round chairs here." I said, "I don't know what you're talking about." I said, "Why don't we go into the lounge in here?" And I said, "We can go in there, we can sit down, and I can put these all out on a table." Well, while all this was going on, I was wrong. Ruby was here. Okay, I don't know if you met Ruby already. Well, Ruby's the lady of the house, the housekeeper. Well, anyway, Ruby had been in vacuuming. And normally we keep the chairs in like conversational groups around. But just for a lark, I guess Ruby wanted to see how big a circle she could make with all these chairs. So she's vacuuming everything, so she ends up putting all the chairs in a huge circle around the lounge. I didn't know it. The doors were closed. I'd been in my office all this time. And so I said, "Well, let's go in here." And I go and I open the doors, and all these chairs are in a huge circle. The blind lady just starts laughing at me. She says, and I go, "What are you laughing at?" She goes, "You get it? The round chairs? The chairs are all in the round? You get it?" She says, "You got to get the jokes." And I said, she says, "That's one of the reasons." She says, "You remember your first time through here?" And yeah, my first tour through here, like I said before, I'd had this locution in 99 saying, "Follow the way, you'll know the way. You'll know. Just don't worry." So that's what got me started. And I got here, and I tried to suppress all this for a year. I got here in 2000 to take the first tour of the place when they first put it up for sale. I was here the first day they put it up for sale. That's a whole other story. But that's my dad's fault. Anyways, I get here, and after a whole day of going through and touring the building, when I pulled in the front, you can't see the water tower in the back because the building blocks it. Well, when I got up on the third floor of this building, I'm looking out one of the back windows, and I see on the water tower, and it says, The Way College. And I see that, The Way, and I'm going, oh, dear God. And I'm about ready to faint. My knees start buckling, and I'm like, oh, you know, because all this I tried to deny for a year. It's like, all day long I've been saying, this place makes too much sense. There's no way I could ever afford it. It makes too much sense. And I see The Way, and then I hear a man out in the hallway laughing. You know, just having the biggest gut-buster laugh. And you know it's not laughing about something, you're laughing at you. Okay? I was the butt of the joke. But then I got it. And the young gal who was giving me the tour, she says, are you okay, mister? I said, you know what, I'm fine. I said, it's about time to go. But it turns out, when the blind visionary was here, she said, the guy who gave you that first locution was your messenger. He's standing right next to the Blessed Mother. And they said he was also the guy that was laughing at you that day when you first toured the building. Okay? And I said, what are you talking about? She says, you remember the thing about The Way? And I knew what she was talking about. She knew, too. And I said, well, yeah. And she says, he's standing right there. I said, well, what's his name? She says, well, a lot of people think he carries a horn around all the time, but his name's Gabriel. But he's not here all the time, but he was sent to get your attention. He says, but he likes it because you get the jokes. He says, because you got the joke about The Way. And so this was all kind of like little setups along the way, but they want you to get the joke, just like the blind visionary in the round chairs. And so we're going through all these books of pictures and stuff. I pulled the one up, and I'm going, she goes, no, that's not it. And I'm going, how do you know? And she goes, well, the Blessed Mother's standing right over your shoulder. She's telling me that's not it. I said, well, if she's standing right there, I said, what's this a picture of? She says, it's a man and a calf. And it was a man holding a calf over here by the barn. You know, Gerhard Kroll used to run the farming program here. There's an old picture of him. And she says, next. And I pull the next one. I'm making sure she can't see it. And I'm going like this. And she says, well, the Blessed Mother thanks you for your courtesy, but she can see just fine. And so I'm like, okay.
Sorry for it.
And so I'm just trying to give her a better view. It's just she can see just fine. She says, that's not it. And so I pull out another photo then, and she says, that's it. And I said, how do you know? I said, okay, Blessed Mother, okay. And she says, what is it? And I said, well, it looks like there's an outdoor mass going on over in the brick house over there. And she goes, it's a benediction, stupid. And I go, a benediction? I said, what's that? And I thought the benediction was just the final prayers at the end of Mass. She says, I thought you were a Malden boy. I said, yeah, I didn't say I was a good one. I said, I never served a benediction in my life. And she says, no, that's a benediction. She says, and I saw the monstrance then when I closer inspection. Oh, okay. All these people were knelt down in front of the monstrance, and I said, oh, okay, it's adoration. I wasn't calling it benediction. She says, I thought you were Catholic. I said, I didn't say I was a good Catholic. Okay, I don't know all this stuff. And so she says, well, that's what you need to do. She says, there is a struggle over this property like you wouldn't believe. I said, oh, I know. You know, she says, the devil wants you out of here, and he wants Father Havel out of here, but he'll take one or both of you at any one time. He wants you both out of here, but he'll take one or the other. She says, do not let Father Havel into the West Wing. So that's where their strength is, and they're waiting for him. Don't let him go there. And so I said, okay, I won't. She says, don't let him go past the chapel. She says, but you need to hold benediction. So I talked Father Havel into holding benediction at one of the rosaries, because we had the first Sunday of the month was coming up, and this rosary group would come up and they'd pray the rosary. And so I told just a few of them they were going to have benediction that week there too. So I had to go out and buy all the stuff for benediction. Like $1,500, $2,000 later, Father's coming back with a cape, monstrance, he's got the incenser, he's going to town, he's back in